So today I would like to talk about tonight I would like to talk about my AR-15 build I've been doing. So there's some information I got to go over, some stuff. So before I begin, always treat your firearms as if it's loaded. Never put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to fire. Whether your magazine's on the table or in your firearm, you check it. If it is in your firearm, drop the magazine and check it. Check the chamber. Make sure it's clear, there's nothing hidden in there or sitting in there. Always carry it down and away, never wave it around, never point it around at anybody. Be aware of your target and what's behind your target, and when you're ready to chamber down range. That way, if there is a malfunction, you keep yourself safe and everybody else safe around you. So let me talk about it real quick. I'm going to drop my prop. So, yes, I am propping my AR-15 with a soda can. Or coffee can. It works. I don't know how or why, but it does. So I got some information on it. So, I found out the A2 style is kind of crap. It kind of limits you. I am still going to buy the Magpul one. That is going to do you definite because there's going to be some accessories. As you see, I have a vertical grip. That's not so great with this weak plastic. It is not great. So, you can get, I think on some of the other companies they might make these better, but you can get a Picatinny rail. There's instruction videos and stuff like that on how to do that. It's just easy. It's just a screw down. So, but you do have to remove your heat shield. Remember, if you ever remove it, you have to put it back. So I had to remove it to tighten it down and put it back on. It was a pain. I'm not doing that. I don't ever want to deal with it again. But you can do it. So really quick, this thing has been firing very well. I've never had a single issue still, so it's been really well, doing really well. So in that regard, I haven't had a single malfunction yet or any problems yet. Everything seems pretty damn accurate. So again, also before I forget, I did add the CV Life. It has flip up, caps. It seems to be doing really, really well. So it looks really nice and everything like that. So it's got 5 levels of brightness and 2 colors. And it's got nice protective caps for your pointed in elevation, so it actually keeps it really nice, and it also has tethers. So there you go. So it's not worth actually changing out the A2 to free floating handguards. That's actually pain. It's actually not worth it. So I think actually that kind of made me really realize how bad the A2 style is and why they really went away from it. So that's a really big lesson. Oh, by the way, so if you're thinking about buying an A2 style, don't. I wouldn't. I know it's the M16 style, but I'd stay away from them. So they're fine now if you just want something basic, because basic is sometimes better than going like fancy. And I'll make a whole entire video on accessories and why that would be. So let me go over the actual reason why it's not worth doing it. You might decide that, I got this cheap and you want to do something with it, or just want to do it yourself or something. So let me go over. So there's a couple things. So this front side has to be changed to a lower profile. You got to tap the pins out. You got to get a conversion kit to make this a locking lug and also buy handguards. Now, in order for that to come off, that flash suppressor has to come off. You have to heat that up, red hot, and torque that off. I'm not comfortable with that. A gunsmith might be, someone you would really have to go for that, because they would be the ones to actually handle all that. That's not really great. I do not like that fact of red hot. Barrels do get hot, but that's different than, torquing something off with red heat. Everything's firing through it and everything. It's different. It's a different mechanic than just blowtorching it and taking off the nut, and taking all that off. That's completely different. So at least that's from what the videos I've seen did. And that's a problem. Everything else is easy, but that. And with my knowledge of metals and stuff like that, it's not healthy for your rifle. It's not good. Or it actually cannot be healthy, I should say, for your barrel. You can always replace the barrel, and stuff like that, and maybe, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth it. So I would actually recommend staying away from the A2 style, unless again you want basic. You know, there are some cool upgrades and stuff like that you can get, but you know, you have to actually know what you're doing and actually know where to find those parts. But you know, free floating handguards are pretty much out. You know, a rifle with free floating handguards is pretty much where I would go for. Okay. There we go. So that's why it's not worth it to me. You know, I would just rather buy a new upper. But I'm going to try the Magpul. That's definitely what I'm going to try because they look way more sturdy, and I think they actually built that plastic specifically for accessories. So I'll give that a try. Same with the quad rail. I would, if you're going to go accessories, I would go with those. But there's a lot of accessory videos I'm going to make, especially with muzzle brakes. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty long video. I don't know how long that would be, but I'm going to say this: accessories and muzzle brakes and all the everything. You know, if you don't mix it properly, you don't actually accessorize properly, you can screw yourself over and make a headache. I will make a video so that way new people don't make that mistake. And yes, I know everybody's looking at this and probably saying that it interrupts the charging handle, and yes, you're absolutely 1000% correct. So, yep, I got to remove that. I just had a bunch of lists I was going through, and I was looking at what I wanted to buy with slings. This was $10 or $11, and I just made the mistake of buying the second one, which was not the one I wanted. For some reason, I never deleted it off the list. And I got this, so I can always cut this or remove the threads and do that. This is actually a really nice sling. It's very high quality. It feels like has like the same kind of feel, you know, like a seat belt, but it's got that. It's like a kind of like a. It pops out more. It feels like a little more like a waffle kind of feel to it. It's not as pronounced as a waffle, but kind of, you know. So it's like it's different. You got to get it to understand, but it's nice feeling. It feels very sturdy, like it'll last, like a seat belt, very nylon and very sturdy. It feels great. So anyway, I just wanted to say that real quick. So I do also try to stay budget because that's what I want to do. That's also why I don't think changing to the A2 is budget friendly or great to do. Again, if you're going to get an upper, I would just stick with the free floating handguards because they're very friendly with accessories. You can get some really cool handguards for the A2, but you can also do that same thing with free floating barrel handguards. You can get all sorts of weird handguard styles and stuff like that too. So, especially with the locking lugs and stuff, it's much easier than these. So, also, you know, I was going to cover that in another video, but free floating barrels are actually better for accuracy. So, I'll make a video on that on why. But so, I have to make this because there was a misconception. So let's say you're going on a website, AR-15 parts and stuff like that. Whatever, it's Bear Creek, whatever. They'll actually tell you what you can put on an AR-15. So they'll have the list ready for you. So it's easy. That's very, very, very easy. But a lot of people think you can fit, you know, AR-10 stuff on AR-15s while they're the same platform. So the platform gives you a huge range of stuff you can do, 3-06, 308, 7.62, 51, and 39, all that stuff. But AR-15s are different than AR-10s. You have to buy an AR-10 in order to fire 308, 30-06, 7.62, 51, 50 bail, or 50 BMG, and stuff like that. You know, maybe, I think 5.56 by 51, all those stuff, right? Because the receivers are built for that. They're longer. They're built for the pressure. They're a little heavier to deal with them. I think even the 50 BMG actually has a specific one, but I know 450 Bushmaster is AR-10. 6.5 Creedmoor too. So, what can this one do? Well, 5.56, 6.5, 7.62 by 39. The 6.5 Grendel. I think I said that. The 9mm 45, as long as it's rifle length. Never mix pistols and rifles together. That's illegal. You know, and vice versa. That's illegal. So, but as long as it's the PCC style, you can do that. You can build that. So that's acceptable stuff on here you can do. But you do have to change the cap out because the 45 and 9mm is not gas operated, which is kind of disappointing. But I'll probably make a PCC video and stuff like that later too, because I have a High Point carbine. Kind of want to go over some stuff too with PCCs in general. But but this time around it's going to be AR stuff, so I wanted to go over that. And I wanted to clarify that, so first everybody knows that if you're going to look for an upper and you expect an AR-15 to fire 30-06 or 308, you can't. That's all battle rifle stuff. That's all the, DMR stuff. That's what that is. But I actually do want to do a precision build on this, and I feel like this isn't bad, but the problem is you can't really go precision due to that A2 style front sight. It does not work well. That's why another reason, if you're going to want to do a precision build, to just go free floating barrels, or not barrels, but handguards, because that gets in the way. Well, you could chop it down and sand it and make it. I don't know if that's how that works. I really don't. I'll double check with RLG firearms, but I'm pretty dang sure that it's not how it works. Plus I actually I don't really think I need to do anything really too much, but it is something I need to go over, so I'll just get a new upper for that stuff, But again, I'll talk about that again in another accessories and stuff like that, because you can also buy actually like different iron sights. I'll talk about iron sights in another video. This is getting a long video, so I'm going to get on to the next thing. Plastic mags. They are not. Let me put this down so I can talk to you face to face here. So plastic magazines are not garbage. Some companies are. This is MFT Mod 2s. These are very good so far. I have not had a single issue, and it's feeding very, very beautifully with these. Everything seems really great. I needed to keep budget, so I got plastic mags. I wasn't really happy at first, but now I love them, and I understand why plastic mags are great. So, I'm already dyed up a little. But anyway, the plastic mags are actually great to prevent wear to your lower. So, lowers will always wear, but I'm talking about the magazine well. So, when you put it in, you take it out, you cycle everything through. Guess what's going to happen to that magazine well? Well, it's going to wear. It's going to cause some wearing in there, and it's going to put, pressure on these components and parts. Well, that actually softens it, and it actually prevents a lot of wear to your lower. But, so what that ends up doing, like let's say your magazine release and stuff like that, and all those parts, and your magazine well, you're going to cycle that so much. And what's going to do, so this will wear before your lower well. So this is cheaper than your lower. Sorry, I got distracted there. But that's I used to be metal mags. Plastic mags are just built cheap. They're supposed to be throwaway. They way to make money. That's actually false. There's a lot of good benefits to these things. Like I said, you got your locking mechanisms for your magazine, you got the magazine well, you've got your magazine releases and all that stuff. So while they'll wear from pushing it and pressing it and then all functioning, it won't brush up against the metal and wear it out or wear this out. So I think they actually rate these by how many times you can cycle them, or change outs. I think it's actually what they call it, how many change outs. I think they're rated for 1,000 times, maybe more. Was it 10,000? I think it actually might be 10,000. So they're actually rated high, pretty high. So they'll last you a long time. So if you have 4 of these are going to last a while. So I wanted to say something about plastic mags because I used to be the guy who says, screw plastic mags, metal, quality. Yeah, that's actually not really healthy for your lower to use metal. Plastic actually is pretty sturdy material, so it's actually will last pretty good. So, and if you do need to, you can actually recycle these. I do believe. I think these are recyclable, which is another thing. And the springs and stuff like that, and like maybe the follower, you can keep the follower. If they do crack or something, they break, you can keep the follower and spring just in case if something happens to another one. and the spring is loose or something and it's not working right, which does happen in some cases, not really that often, but it does, or something weird. Because you can actually, I think you can actually break a spring. They actually tell you to fill it up halfway so you don't break springs, and then, after I think about 500 rounds, I think is what it was. No, was it 500? Shoot, what did he say it was? 150? I think 150, 200 rounds, something like that. So that way the spring doesn't break, because you can brisk that. So I think that's right. I'll double check with RLG Firearms and double check that, because I am not 100% sure on that. But I think he did tell me that too, so I'm pretty sure that's right. My mind, sometimes I get stuff wrong, but I'll always correct myself if so. But yeah, I just wanted to say that about magazines, because again, I used to be, crap on plastic mags. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people do, but they're actually pretty good. There are some downsides, like you can't quickly press the magazine release and also draw another magazine at the same time. There's a proper shooting technique I can show you guys for that, that will work well with plastic. So I'll do a demonstration probably, in the future somewhere. So, I think I made this video really, really long, and I think I kind of went over a little board. So I'm trying not to forget anything. So if I drone on, I'm trying to also get my thoughts correct. So I do apologize. I am new to the YouTube stuff, but I do want to get everything as accurate as possible, because I do care. So, thank you for watching this video. Have a wonderful day or night.